Greetings, Earthlings! Welcome back to Discussions with DJ. Today we have a very special guest and a very close friend of mine, a playwright at heart, the very own, one and only, Tracy Letts, here to talk to us about his life and work. Welcome to the pod, Tracy.
Thanks for having me, DJ.
Hey man, thanks for being here. Appreciate you coming out here. So, for people who don't know, could you just tell us a little bit about you and your work?
Yeah, okay, so I've written over 10 plays, my latest one being Linda Vista.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also a screenwriter. I've written all the movie adaptations for my plays, and more recently the Netflix original The Woman in the Window with Amy Adams.
Oh yeah, so good.
And I do some acting. You may have seen me in HBO's Winning Time,
Yes.
The Rise of the Lakers Dynasty early this year. So, yeah.
Dude, that's awesome. And I just finished Winning Time, and man, I just gotta say that show was amazing, and you were just fantastic in it. It was awesome, dude. Super cool.
Thank you. Yeah, I feel really lucky to be a part of it.
Yeah, I mean, I bet, and I mean, I could talk about Winning Time forever, but I did want to focus on your work as a playwright. So, how did you get started with all that? Like what got you into writing, and what did you sort of like? When did you start knowing that this was the career you wanted to take, and this is what you wanted to do and commit to?
Yeah, so I didn't know initially, but my mom was an English professor and a writer, and so was my dad.
Oh, wow.
So I think I just grew up with that sort of ingrained in me and writing, and it just wasn't necessarily anything I questioned.
Yeah, right. I mean, both English professors? I can only imagine the dinner table conversations.
Yeah, I mean, it probably wasn't as bad as you're thinking, but definitely wasn't the average family's conversation.
Yeah, a lot more Hemingway references.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So anyway, as much as I grew up around writing, I initially just wanted to act.
Right.
I really wasn't thinking too much about writing. I graduated high school in Tulsa, moved to Dallas, and I just worked so that I could act. But it wasn't until I moved to Chicago when I was 20 and I started working for Steppenwolf and doing all the theater stuff in the city, being in Bang Bang Theater Company with some friends, which was like an improv-ish theater troupe, I like to say.
Right. Improvish, could you elaborate a little bit more?
Yeah, well, it was just us trying to get our theater stuff out there, so it really wasn't your typical improv. We did a lot more scripted than improv should be.
Right.
We were trying to be Steppenwolf and Second City at the same time,
Gotcha.
but it was fun. I still have some great friends from that time, Michael Shannon, Amy Peets.
Oh, wow.
Great people, yeah, but anyway, after that, I started to build my career and just take writing more seriously. I wrote Killer Joe in 1991, really just on a whim. I got the idea from something I saw in the newspaper and just decided that I had to see if I could turn this into something for the stage.
Right.
And then I think when that was successful, I knew that writing was something I could do and pursue, and it could also be lucrative.
Yeah. And so with Killer Joe, it's a comedy, but it's also really dark and intense, and that darkness, but also humor and comedy that you implant in your shows. It's a theme with all of your work. And where do you think that comes from?
Well, I'm not sure where it comes from. Maybe my English professor parents and the stuff I read growing up, but I don't know. I think it's just a part of me. I'm just really interested in those darker moments in our lives and like the honesty that comes from that. I really try to make my characters real, not necessarily likable. I don't need you to always root for them, but I want you to see them and understand them and just understand that.
Right.
And the humor, well, okay. I mean, life is funny. People are funny. Everything's funny. Everything can be funny.
Right. Everything's funny. I love that. And I think that sentiment is why so many people can just connect with your work and why it's just so compelling. I mean, it's awesome.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, of course. And now I do want to ask you about August, the Osage Orange County play that you wrote. Where did that story come from? I mean, was it like personal to you, or just a fiction, or was it like a combination of both? Because it's a really spectacular show, man. I mean, it has a Pulitzer for a reason.
Yeah, that Pulitzer, that was nice. Well, isn't everything a combination? But I get what you mean. It came from a place of reality. It's sort of based off my own grandfather's suicide when I was 10, and my grandmother's reliance on prescription pills, and how that just really affected my family, particularly my parents. But I wanted to tell just the great American drama. And of course, I guess I couldn't tell a family story without telling a little bit of my own family story.
Right, yeah. And then with implanting your own family story into the actual play, I mean, it was just so cool how your dad, I mean, he played Beverly, the father, right, in the original production?
Yeah, he did. He picked up acting in his 50s. He just had to try to steal my spotlight, yeah. But that was amazing. He was phenomenal, and it was so great to work with him on the show.
Yeah, I bet that's probably super cool, and I imagine that made the show just all the more personal for you, right?
Absolutely, but he was a fantastic actor, and even if it was my dad, I would have cast him, because what playwright doesn't want to work with a fantastic actor?
Yeah, there you go. Well, Tracy, thank you for joining us. It has been just so great and fun talking to you. I really appreciate you coming out here.
Thanks for having me. It's been great talking to you too.